Adam, thank you. 8:45 right now. So in 1966, Time magazine, look at this cover, asked the question, is God dead? But then 4 years later, they claimed the Jesus Revolution was here. So what changed? Well, a new movement grew in Southern California, which just became the focus of a new movie.
What they need is a bath.
You're passing judgment on people you know nothing about. And maybe that's why your church is so empty.
When God walks in here, brings me a hippie, I'll ask him what it's all about, because I do not understand.
His house has a very good vibe.
Okay, so joining us now, Jonathan Roumie, star of Jesus Revolution. Jonathan, great to have you. Good morning.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
So I think a lot of people might forget, or they weren't even alive when this, story came about. Can you tell us a little bit about the Jesus Revolution, how it changed religion across the country?
Yeah, so the Jesus Revolution movement basically happened, well, what we focus on in this movie is this meeting of this charismatic hippie street preacher named Lonnie Frisbee and this conservative pastor played by Kelsey Grammer, as you saw there, named Chuck Smith. And Chuck's church was dwindling, and so he wanted to know how to reach the hippies, and in walks Lonnie Frisbee. And they say it was like nitro met glycerin, and there was just this explosion of the spirit. And Lonnie started preaching with Chuck, and hippies started coming to church by the droves. I mean, Lonnie could just walk to a beach and start preaching, and all these kids, these young, troubled, lost souls, hippies, disillusioned, former addicts, started coming to church and getting saved, and it just sparked this giant revival that swept across the country and ultimately the globe. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that now in places like Asbury University, a little bit of a throwback to this time.
And, you play Lonnie Frisbee, who was a real-life guy. He was an evangelist. He was a pivotal figure of this moment and this movement here. So what was it like to play that role?
It was amazing and humbling, and also, I wanted to be very careful because Lonnie was a very complex figure, and he suffered a lot of wounds. And whenever you're playing a real person, you want to do that person and the memory of that person justice. And so it was an opportunity to really kind of stretch a little bit and work out the humanity of this guy who impacted people so intensely in their spiritual lives. So yeah, it was great.
And talk a little bit about what the reaction to the movie has been so far.
It's been tremendous. I mean, the box office alone kind of reflects what people have been saying. We did more than double what we were projected to do in numbers, but more importantly than that, I did an appearance in Fresno this weekend, and people were coming up to me saying that they were going to see the movie for the second and third time, that it had such an impact on them and their spirituality, that they really connected them to God by showing these flawed characters that all of us can relate to in some way or another, that God uses these flawed people to reach people that desperately need to hear the message of love and compassion and mercy and forgiveness and salvation. And so I think that's been the takeaway.
Well, Jonathan, we appreciate you joining us this morning here. Jesus Revolution in theaters right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless.